the last thing, I'm going to open up and we're going to end it with this here. So thank you, just so that you guys kind of know what it looks like and you see one. But here, I'm going to start from here. So this is a sample of a buyer counteroffer. Okay, borrower submits a counteroffer, maybe, and this for the sale price. You see that they sent the counteroffer on June 7th for the counteroffer to be sell to $750. The seller counteroffers, saying, you know, with a price of $250, and then all of this right here, so it's being sold as is, etc., etc. All I want to do here is to show you that yes, there are counter offers, okay, and you should make note of this. Okay, many times we get excited and we see a purchase agreement, and we completely ignore the fact that there is a seller or a counter offers, and we'll go off of the purchase agreement. Okay, no, this is not the right one, but yeah. So just know that many a times agents, you know, they're lazy too. They're not thorough, and they'll just send you the RPA, forgetting to send you the counter offer. Some agents, like in this case, right, was very thorough and attached the counter offer, and the addendums to the RPA, the original RPA. Okay, but there are a lot of agents that don't do that. So just note that the counter offers, and look at the most recent one, because that should detail out the final terms. Once a counter offer, a multiple counter offer is presented, just understand all the previous ones are void. It's all void. Okay, so you have to go with the most latest one, and that's what you're going to be looking at. Okay, the title company information is there. It's being sold as is, etc., etc. Okay, so just make note of that. So, any questions?
I have one. A random.
Yeah.
So throughout escrow, sometimes price is reduced at the end.
Okay.
How does that affect lending?
Yeah, when the prices get, so they'll do what's called an addendum, right? Yep, they'll send an addendum, and if they reduce the price, they'll send an addendum, and then we follow suit. We change that on our end. We request a COC to the lender. They'll change it on their end. The appraisal will need to be updated too as well. So yeah, changing of the purchase price can cause a little bit of a additional work there, but everything will just ultimately need to be updated, right? The lender, appraisal, all the title and escrow paperwork will need to be updated for the purpose of, you know, the CIP, I mean, everything. So yeah, I don't know if that answers your question, but yeah, I'll change it.
How long is the delay on that?
I would say give it a good 24 hours. Yeah.
So not bad.
Yeah, that shouldn't be bad. Yeah. Yeah. Now, the change of the appraisal value can also change the loan amount, right? Naturally, it can have an effect on it. So that can further cause additional, you know, workarounds as well. So just do note that. Any other questions? All right.
Shall we go over the FHA exception on the RPA?
The FHA exception? You mean the addendum, the FHA Amendatory Clause, or?
Yes, addendum clause stating that despite of the contingency removal status, wherever we are at in the middle of escrow, buyer always have a right to cancel if there is a issue on the subject property.
Yeah. Let me see.
But you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes, I do. Do you have one that's here?
If not, we can just piggyback later on if this may become more than this. Just to summarize, guys, there is a reason why listing agents don't like FHA loans. It's because buyer always has this gun to kill the deal. If they work with someone like us and buyer is crying, asking us to kill the file on their behalf and save their EMD, we have a full control over this when the transaction is an FHA. despite of the condition, despite of the status of the loan. That's why it's difficult, but knowing specific details of purchase agreement and the loan type, when they first submit the offer, you have to check the loan type. So, you know, the VA loans especially has a 1% fee limit, right, with the lender and the closing cost. But by checking on it, now agent fee, buyer agent fee is not part of that 1% of the VA fee. So checking a VA on the loan type is not going to trigger this, you know, amendatory clause. So VA is no longer, you know, starting December of last year, VA loan is good to go, but FHA still remains. It's a very sensitive one section of the 17, 18 pages document that may mislead the buyers into jeopardy, but also we can become a saving grace. So what do we, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Peter, please.
So if we approve the loan at 5.6 and the rate jumps to 6.3 and forgot to lock in the rate, monthly payment shocks, and then we can kill the deal on the buyer's behalf, even with contingencies waived, because we can prove the higher rate is not going to allow the buyer to perform. Agents don't like this fact. I intentionally removed it from, I guess, my posting. I was trying to post it on my Instagram, and one of my agents immediately DM'd me asking me to delete it. It was so funny. Within minutes, it just came in. But it's good to know that we know this. In case, right?
Okay, here it is. Okay, I got a copy. So sorry about that, guys, and thank you, Peter. So yeah, I didn't think to add this part, but here. This is the amendatory, the FHA addendum, okay, and certification. So this will be required to be signed and executed along with the RPA for any escrow transaction entailing FHA or VA. Okay. And sometimes agents just don't know that. And so we would have to provide it for them. And this is what Peter's talking about. So if you read it here, and we'll kind of go through this with a couple more minutes, and we'll go over time a little bit. So if you read it, it's in the middle. This is where it's important. It is expressly agreed that notwithstanding any other provisions of this contract, the buyer shall not be obligated to complete the purchase of the property herein described or to incur any penalty by forfeiture of earnest deposit money unless a written statement issued by the Federal Housing Authority, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so fourth, the appraised value or certification of reasonable value, excluding cost for mortgage insurance not less than whatever that might be. The buyer shall, however, have the privilege and option of proceeding with the consummation of this contract without regard to the amount of the appraised evaluation made by the Federal Housing Authority or Veterans Administration. The appraised valuation is arrived at to determine the maximum mortgage the Department of Housing, HUD, okay, will issue or insure a guarantee. HUD and VA do not warrant the value or the condition of the property. The buyer shall satisfy him or herself that the price and condition of the property are acceptable. So earlier, what Peter said, just because the appraisal came in fine, okay, and contingencies can be removed. If the borrower does not want to proceed with it, this is what's going to protect them.
I only played this once when the rate kite happened, but that was leading me for multiple additional transactions because buyers was happy, agent was happy. So when you hear FHA in the midst of nowhere, be excited. Even though you kill the deal on their behalf, next deal is going to come to you. Same buyer, agent, group of people will come to you. It's a miracle working piece of a document.
And it is a mandatory, it has to be signed and executed by all the parties. So if you notice it here, okay, the seller needs to sign this as well. Not just the buyer, but the sellers have to sign it. Okay, and this is where Peter's talking about where agents don't like this. Okay, because now it's like, oh, we got to get the seller to sign it, and guess what? The seller's gonna read this. They're not gonna like it, right? It's just another excuse, perhaps they can see that the buyer has to get out of escrow, so to cancel it. So, but just be aware of it, that this exists. Okay.
So, on especially when you are receiving offers as an agent, make sure the buyer's agent put a rate on the RPA. When they're putting check mark next to the FHA loan, make sure that you review this. Seldomly, people just leave it blank, playing dumb. And escrow missing that is going to lead to open escrow. Don't allow the escrow to be opened until you see this. Whenever we see VA or FHA, make sure the rate is listed on the RPA. This is a tactic that I train my team, but we can reverse engineer and apply to your own transactions. This is great. This is more than enough, guys. If you know what Wagner knows, you can kill all the loan officers out there. There's no one like Giving Tree. There's no one like Wagner's understanding and depth of understanding. It's like another floodgate opening up. Very few of the loan officers understand the real estate transactions and the workflow. Now you know. What is your takeaway, guys? I know we have passed the time, but anyone who is getting help from Harrison, especially after Tuesday call, I expect each one of us to post regards to what we have learned. And starting on January of next year, if you don't implement and update the new findings and takeaways to your postings, we'll assume that you are not taking anything away from the meeting, leading us to slow down with your support. We want to support you every single day, every single hour. But when the input is there, but output is not happening, something is going on. We either have to revise how we approach to you, or you have to step up, because ultimately we are doing this to grow together as a team, be on the same page, right? Great things will happen later this year. We are hiring underwriter at this time, so stay tuned. Giving Tree starting today became a delegated lender with non-QM product. So I'll share more with Gia. Will share more information later this week or next week in team meetings. Anyone who's on this call will be able to submit the delegated files and will close in 5 days to 7 days. Non-trade documents. We're using estimated HUD ones. So it's their loss. For those of you watching recorded videos, I'm sure you watched until this point. It will be a very different approach that I'm going to apply. Because of the multiple resubmissions that we've been doing, we have received warnings from Fannie, Freddie Mac's warehouses. So we're going to take you delicately, step by step. Okay? Thank you, Wagner.
Thank you, guys. Yeah. Again, just to recap, I just want to make sure that you guys are in the know, because it is reflective of me too. Being a competent loan officer, know the fees, read through the contract, know your contingencies. Okay, make note of the termite inspection report, order, and make sure you're ordering the appraisal and the condo cert. All right, pretty simple, guys. Thank you, guys. You guys have a great week. If nothing else, there is no meeting next week. Enjoy it with your loved ones. Happy Thanksgiving. May your bellies be full. See you guys.
Thank you. Bye.